Give it to me, Smokey. Walking the three strings.
I don't know too much.
I love it. Welcome back to the Wormhole. We are living the dream. NCAA tournament. Roomy's back in the pink hat.
What up? What up, my friends?
And we got Brother Mislone.
How goes it, fellas?
So we're live, tourney time. Currently Maryland's playing right now. You guys, are you both through the knockout?
Both through the I am so far. I picked Villanova, who just kicked some ass about 2 hours ago. So
I'm riding the
Right,
Ducks
Miz?
tonight. I got to have Oregon survive Duke.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be a good one. I force them out. We'll get to that a little bit later. The worst NCAA game player of all time. Let's just start off with the Sweet 16. We're in the Sweet 16. Tournament's been awesome. I think the parity we saw all year has shown itself. Favorite moments, Miz? What do you got?
Favorite moment, I think, man, I would probably sum it up with the end of the Texas A&M Northern Iowa game in the round of 32. I can't even fathom what I saw, especially, given where you and I came from. But that was probably one of the most epic collapses I've ever seen from a team, and so improbable.
I mean, at that point in time, after you turn it over for the second time or whatever, why don't you just baseball throw the ball in the air down the court to burn clock?
dude, how about the kid that hit the game-winning shot in the first round, taking another half quarter with 5 seconds left?
Yeah, that was questionable at best.
Unbelievable. I think he wanted to hit the exact same shot again, do the exact same thing from the first game. And with 5 seconds, instead of going up and getting a layup, which you had plenty of time for, he shot another 65-footer.
They must have been so in their heads at that point, though. Like, you're just like, we just pissed away a 12-point lead with 30 seconds to go. How is that even physically possible?
The only thing that I think I could ever compare it to, didn't Uncle Reggie Miller just annihilate the Knicks, 9 points in 13 seconds? It was like on par with that in terms of how ridiculous it was.
Winning time for that little monkey man.
Can you imagine being like a senior seventh man who comes off the bench and you weren't in for that entire stretch right there, and they're just turning the rock over from the inbound pass? Like, unbelievable. You have to be so frustrated. Can you imagine Jay? Can you imagine Jay being on the bench watching that happen? What he would say to those people?
Just losing his shit.
Oh,
Be like, leave me in the game.
He would make kids quit like he does on our team.
Move away. That's why I moved. Who quit?
No, nobody. Hypothetically, it just seems like it's something he could do.
That's awesome. You see this in this tournament though. These small school guys, like, I think they just lose their minds a little bit. There was a game I was watching. I can't remember who it was, but the dude had a timeout. Like, they could have gone and scored, and the dude had a timeout. And he didn't call it. And he turned the ball over in like a big upset. Like it was like on a Friday game or something like that last week. I can't remember which one it was, but you're just watching this like team fold, and you're like, man, I feel so bad. Oh, it was the Jackrabbits, SDSU.
Yeah.
Like they had a chance to win, and they had the ball. The guy got it. Had like 6 seconds left. They just pushed up the court, and he's picked his dribble up at half court, didn't call a timeout, and turned it over. It's like you're not used to that moment, so you just lose your mind.
I feel like the end of the game management has been horrific in this tournament. I said it earlier today watching the last game. Like, they're doing in the Villanova game, they were doing like full court baseball passes, and it's dumb, man. They threw the ball away right before the half or something like that. And I'm like, who designs that? Like, usually college coaches like overmanage teams, like micromanage them terribly. In this tournament, I feel like at end of quarter, or end of half, and end of games, they have just been like toddlers out there.
Yeah, it's totally nuts. It's like one of these things where everyone who says the NBA is a joke, just go watch the end of a college basketball game. Because it's either night and day, right? It's either it's a game winner, buzzer beater, and everybody goes crazy, or it's an awful play. But in the NBA, you actually have talented dudes that can hang out. And do good things and make the right decision almost every time. Let's see what else. We had Stephen F. Austin. That was big.
Yep, that was a big one. I'm sure we'll get into him a little later, but Stephen F. Austin probably has everybody's player of the tournament so far, and everyone's favorite Thomas Walkup. That was a good one. They were great. They had a great win in the first round and then got kind of decimated at the buzzer against Notre Dame, which was a bummer. The game for me that I wanted to touch on real quick under kind of moment of the tournament, I know it was the first round, but Little Rock, Arkansas, taking down Purdue in that double overtime game. Jake's Purdue Final Four. I listened to episode 3. I listened to the podcast. I know they're your Final Four team. Down in round 1 at the hands of Josh Haggins, who just took over in the second half, hit like a 35-foot step-back jumper from the logo to force overtime, and then went all LeBron 2000, whatever year that was, 2005 in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Pistons, scoring 30 of the last 32 points to win the game in double overtime. Dude, I thought that was I was there, so I know I'm biased, but I think that was one of the moments of the tournament for me, was watching that kid put his team on his back.
I mean, I should have listened to Miz. That's all I can say.
Ah, man, I don't know that you can agree with that. I just lost A&M, and my boys, X gonna give it to you. Going down at the hands of Bronson K. N-word, it's terrible.
K. N-word.
I love how cocky Koenig has been this week too. He's been on he was on Dan Patrick's show. He was on a bunch of radio shows, and he's made Steph Curry references. I forget what he said on the Dan Patrick show, but it was something like, as soon as I let it go, I know it was going in. I've hit that shot a million times. He's just being kind of a jag-off. That game will be weird tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't played that well, I don't think, all year either. Like, compared to what he was in the tournament last year, he kind of was a shining spot for Wisconsin. And now he just gets in the tourney under the lights, and he's doing stuff like he did. What a typical, white guy win, too. Take the charge, and then drain the game-winning 3.
Yeah, I have a big problem with that charge. Xavier, it's that end-of-game management. It was all over, that first weekend. The fact that they just didn't slow it down. You take a jump shot or driving in late in the game where you're either winning or you're going to overtime. The fact that there was any time left is just poor.
Miz, how about your knockout life coming down to the end of that St. Joe Cincy game?
Oh, I felt great about that. I knew the whole time it was St. Joe's game. How about that? The fingertips staying on the ball so the dunk doesn't count. Just living clean, my friend.
I love how much you hyped up St. Joe's after your podcast last week, and then you had him in Syndicate, you had him in Knockout. I mean, you were all in on St. Joe's, and how about that win at the buzzer?
Dude, they were a team. They had the shot. Didn't they have the ball late, and the homeboy that looks, like the Jewish Muslim was just dribbling up top and kind of kicked it off his own shin?
What does a Jewish Muslim look like, Miz?
Oh, I know. As soon as you said that, I knew who you were talking about. He's got the fro and then the chin beard.
Correct.
And he definitely looks Middle Eastern.
Very much so. I mean, he's like the definition of the origin of man.
He was also the conference player of the year, so I think he was pretty solid.
Oh, he's legit, dude. That guy can ball. Man, that first weekend was great. It's arguably just the best 4 days, of sports.
It's the best.
It really is. I mean, on the whole, it's just one of those things that something crazy is always going to happen. Yep. The quality of play might not be great. The quality of refereeing might not be great, but everybody's there. I think, Rumi, you went too. I think one of the cool things about it is you just have all these third-party people that just get behind these teams and just want to see good games in chaos. And so no matter what happens, the stadium's loud.
Oh, yeah. The stadium goes nuts. The best part about that really highlights what you just said is that, in timeouts and when they're on, at halftime, they show, stats and highlights on the board, on the video board of other games that are going on. And every time they show a score and it's in the second half and the underdog is winning, it really doesn't matter what the teams are. The whole crowd would go yeah! It was cool. It was a cool atmosphere.
So you witnessed Zabonis versus that big Utah motherfucker.
Oh yeah. The Storm.
Zabonis made him his bitch.
Oh, dude, he did. And so in the first round, they both played really well, dominant, like big double doubles. And then head to head, Sabonis just went to school on him, man. They worked him. It was good. It was a good play. I mean, he's Studley. I think they're both going to be. I mean, at least if you look at mock drafts, they're both like in the first or second round,
Yeah.
not like top 15 or anything like that. But I think they'll both be decent players.
Did you hunt down Avitas Sabonis and get a picture next to him to put next to your Dikembe picture or your Manute? Do you have Dikembe or Manute Bull?
Dikembe. Who's that? It's Dikembe. Yeah. No, it's George Mirjan.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
White guy.
Giant. It's my giant.
It's Jahorji for sure.
Yeah.
Real quick side note: did you guys see Mutombo was in the Brussels airport during that fucking nonsense over in Belgium?
We almost lost Dikembe to a terrorist attack.
I had no clue. I'm just hearing this for the first time. I mean, I know of the
Oh, really?
terrorist attack. No clue. Dikembe was there. What?
Yeah, he was in the Brussels airport. He came out and said there's ex-NBA player in Brussels airport at that time of attack. There's a picture of big dumb Dikembe Mutombo hanging out.
That's
He
awful.
almost got
Man.
blown up by ISIS, man.
Unbelievable. Who wants to sex Mutombo?
Dude, I other read a story. I don't know if this is I don't know if this is true or not, but I read a story. It was on Barstool Sports that there was some Mormon missionary that's been present at the airport attacks, the Paris bombing, and the Boston Marathon bombings.
We're not even in a wormhole now. We're down this conspiracy nonsense. Let's get back to college hoops.
Sorry,
Fuck that.
but that's some Final Destination shit. Something wants that kid dead.
All right, Jacob. Jacob, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Who's been your player of the tournament so far?
It's gotta be Buddy. I mean, Buddy is basically taking this tournament to show that he should be a top 5 pick. How many points did he score in that first game? He just went off. He had 36 and he had 29 or something like that in the second half of that second round game.
Yeah, man, he definitely has all the dentists out in America just foaming at the mouth wanting a piece of those chompers.
No way, man. This is going to be like the brow. You just got to keep him.
Dude,
Why get rid of it?
Google Buddy healed teeth, and he got work done. We kind of think there's a little bit of conspiracy over here, and that Buddy has fake teeth. Chris and I have talked about it this whole week, and we think Buddy has fake teeth. What's the medical term for teeth? Is it veneers? Is it a veneer?
I don't know.
They're fake veneers. Look into it. Look at his old grill and look at his new grill. It's too perfect. I think he just got a big old grill to put in.
A white grill?
Yeah.
Come on.
It's optimized to chop produce.
But yeah, it's true. But yeah, man, that's my player of the tourney. I mean, we all knew he could kind of take Oklahoma places, and he's kind of doing it. Who do you got, Miz?
After tonight, the early round games, I think it's hard to go against Heald. I think the other guy that I would probably put in that running, depending on how they finish up Oregon Duke tonight, is Dylan Brooks from Oregon's putting up some monster stats out there too.
Yeah, and Grayson, as much as I hate to say it, is playing pretty well. Mr. Allen.
He is. I mean, what's the Nova point guard's name? Just played.
It's Ryan Archie Diacomo.
Archie Diacomo. Dude, I guess I hadn't really watched much of Nova in their first couple of games. He's pretty good.
Bryce Johnson's been playing really well too.
Oh, dude, he's just been a rim protector, just destroying balls in there. A guy I saw I really liked a lot was Georges Niang from Iowa State. He took over both games. Dude, in the second game early on, it was awesome. He was just calling for the ball right at the top of the key about the three-point line. He called for it 4 consecutive possessions. I don't know if they highlighted this on TV, but it was awesome. He called for the ball 4 consecutive possessions, and on the first one, he drove to the rim and got a bucket. On the second one, he made a 3. On the third one, he faked it and passed it to a teammate, got an assist on a 3. And then on the fourth one, he made another 3. 4 straight possessions. They ran the same play pick to him, and he just went nuts. So I feel like he's up there, man. I'm excited to see what Iowa State can do.
Yeah, they're pretty good, man. The lone team of Iowa left. Iowa apparently good basketball programs, getting 3 teams past the first round. Let's talk about your boy Thomas. I mean, I don't even know how to describe his game. Like his game does not match what he looks like. It's weird, right?
Yeah.
I think he he plays like a suave, fat white guy. Like
Yeah.
he moves around well. He's intelligent. He was crafty. He made big threes. Like I thought his perimeter game was actually pretty spot on. Like they run him off of a ton of those picks and then just let that sexual lumberjack shoot one up. It's fun.
He just
Sexual
does not.
lumberjack is the best name for him.
I would love a team, and I know a lot of like the Midwest teams, like Iowa's and Indiana's, usually do have this, but I would love a team of 12 of him. Just not really his game, but the way they look. Can you imagine going up against a team that was all all gingers and all like metro haircuts and like
Yeah,
kind of stocky but athletic as hell?
it's called the Wisconsin Badgers, minus Nigel Hayes.
Yeah, they get the occasional Nigel or Alondo Tucker. Name drop.
Dewaney.
Who?
Remember Dewaney?
Yeah, black as chocolate.
Big time.
Any other players we didn't talk about? I mean, there was one guy that I know is near and dear to Miz's heart. Miz sometimes has the nickname of Reg or Reggie, and on Friday morning we were introduced into Reggie Upshaw Jr. of Middle Tennessee State University. Miz, what'd you think of Reggie Upshaw Jr.?
I thought his game was exceptional for somebody of that translucent hue. It doesn't make sense to me that that is the actual color of a human being that is that good at basketball. He just didn't miss. There was that stretch where I was convinced they were coming back. Michigan State was going to pull it out, win by 8, 12 points, and he would just come down, stop, pop, hit a three, give some nice give and go, and they had to play a perfect game, and man, they did just on the lashed back of Reggie.
So I think that guy's gonna go play in the NFL too, or something like that.
What?
Yeah, I think he's like a tight end prospect.
Well,
I'm just trying to steer the conversation somewhere else. Well, Rumi, how was the the Ruminap household? How was newly Mrs. Ruminap after that one?
Not good, not good at all. What made it worse is we actually had something to do right in the middle of it on that Friday. So we watched the first half, actually at Mrs. house, DVR'd the second half, and turned off our phones and went and did our shit, and then came back and had to catch up to it. And we were probably like an hour behind or so. So we're completely cut off from the world and had to come back and watch that. It was garbage. It was terrible. Not happy. Not happy would be the correct response as to how she was there.
I mean, I can't believe it. Izzo like coaches these teams to do that, to win in March, and they got Hoyt. It was like Georgetown versus Dunk City that one year.
Just terrible. I mean, they have veteran leadership. They have old guys. Like, you can't let that happen, man. And he tried. He tried going down to the bottom of the bench and stuff. It didn't work. But whatever. Like you said, Miz, Middle Tennessee played the game of their life. I don't know what they shot in that game, but I had to be pretty high because they were on fire. And Upshot just carried them.
Oh.
And what was the one guy's name? Giddy Potts? Scott's boy?
Giddy Potts.
Yep.
Right.
I mean,
All right. Let's move
don't
on.
mess with the ginger lark. That's the only thing I can say.
Totally. All right, let's move on for a sec. Let's talk about some of the Cinderellas that are left in our bracket. So we've got number 6 Notre Dame, number 7 Wisconsin, number 10 Syracuse, and number 11 the Zags. Jake, who do you think is going to be the team to last the longest out of these 4?
Man, so I think that Wisconsin is just benefiting from a really good draw. Like, I don't really think they're a good basketball team. But the interesting thing about them is I think they can beat Notre Dame, and then they play the style of basketball that could give North Carolina some problems, right? Because they like to slow down that pace, and North Carolina likes to run. So you kind of have that juxtaposition. But at the end of the day, I don't think they have the talent, and I think they benefited from playing a couple. Man, did they beat Xavier, though? And Xavier was good, so I just can't throw him in there. I like Gonzaga, man. I think Sabonis, he's doing it. I think they were underseeded to begin with, so they're not really what their seed is. And I think they can get past Virginia. So I'd say if I'm going to put one of those teams in the Final Four, I'm going to take Gonzaga.
Miz,
What
what do you
about
think?
you, Miz?
I will be squaring off head-to-head with Jake. I think it's Syracuse out of the crew. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Gonzaga too. The reason I take Syracuse, their guard play's getting a little bit healthy. I think the weird thing when you have teams that were thought highly of preseason and have a bad year, get seeded pretty low, I think they're potentially damaging. I think Wichita State fit that bill. Just got a tough draw over there with Miami last round. But I like Syracuse. I like their chances to beat Gonzaga and do something Virginia, Iowa State wise.
Maybe. I mean, the thing I like too about how about Whittier on Gonzaga, the old Kentucky alum, just getting it done.
Yeah, we shall see. I think that's a good matchup. Andy, who you got?
Man, that's really funny. I also like the Zags quite a bit. I think Syracuse has had an easy schedule. I think they played an overrated Dayton. Dayton was a 7, and Dayton was not that good this year. They were overrated. And then they beat Middle Tennessee, who looked a lot more like Middle Tennessee, looked a lot more like a 15 seed. So I think Q's has had the easiest road out of those ones. And I think the Zags are, like Cheap said, I think they're better than they are. I got a Saboner. I got a Saboner for Sabonis. I'm on board with that. I really like Kyle Wiltjer too. He's their other big guy who hoists.
Yeah, Wilcher, sorry.
Yep, Wiltshire, and he's confident. He's very confident and cocky. I do like him. I also like Wisconsin a lot. I think they're playing. I think they're like peaking right now, and I think they're on fire. And I think they got something to prove. I think Bo Ryan went down, and everyone thought they were dog shit this year, and they turned it on. And Notre Dame, I think, honestly, I know I'm biased because I'm a Michigan fan, but I think Michigan outplayed Notre Dame on Thursday night or Friday night, whatever night that was. And Notre Dame turned it on in the second half and beat them, and Michigan just kind of wilted away. But Michigan was a terrible team who didn't really deserve to be in the tournament. And then Notre Dame had to get a Hail Mary buzzer tip in to beat Stephen F. Austin in the second one. I think they're susceptible. I think Wisconsin and the Zags both move on, and I don't know if they can beat the 1 seeds in those divisions. I think the Zags have a better chance. But I don't know if we're gonna have I don't think we're gonna have a Cinderella in the Final Four this year. I think it's gonna be like fours or below, and probably even lower than that.
Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, Wisconsin, it's amazing. They could be. I think they just, like I said, they've walked. But so crazy thing about Wisconsin is if they could have got Diamond Stoned into that school, they would just be amazing. I think he was a Wisconsin native, and they couldn't get him over the academic hump, which is bullshit about all these Big Ten teams. This is why I love the SEC and why I love pulling for LSU. It's like we'll get that kid in with a 10 ACT score. How fast we take his ACT score and then multiply his 40 times by 2 and add it, and you're in. Good.
Dude, how funny would it be if we could find all their ACT scores on the internet? I think we should, for the next wormhole, I think we should literally rummage through the depths of the internet and try and find our favorite athletes' ACT and SAT scores and come back with tops and lows.
I like. What do you got, Miss?
We should go back to the days when Zach Randolph was at Michigan State. So having grown up near the campus, it was rumored that his first test score was an 8. And then he, using air quotes, magically retook it and bumped it up to an 18 or a 19, whatever like eligibility requirements were, was like a bona fide Zebo rumor.
I believe that wholeheartedly because when I was down in Baton Rouge, I ran into a compliance officer. We were having beers one night, and he told me the exact same story about Patrick Peterson, except the second time with Peterson, his score became like a 25. And it red flagged the NCAA, and they had to take it a third time. He went from like a 10 to 25. It's like, whoa. At least State made it believable.
And I was there at one of the games, and so they knew Randolph was going to go pro. He was kind of like one and done. The signs were pretty apparent early on, and so they like would honor somebody on the team for being a champion in the classroom. And I was there when Zach Randolph was honored as Michigan State's champion of the classroom, and just couldn't handle it.
Did he bring cookies? Is that how he got to be champion in a classroom?
I can't even imagine he went. It was just like the most politically charged thing that Michigan State could have done.
That's just absolutely fantastic. Let's get into Sweet 16 picks. So we've got one through already. Nova dispatched Miami. You were like, I think you were liking Nova, right? Last week.
Yeah, I wasn't, I guess, as fearful of them. I didn't trust them. Just you get bad vibes from years past. But they were one of those teams that was predicted to be a number one seed longer than anybody else. And I think, like I said with Syracuse, I think things tend to revert back to early on in the season when Nova was really respected, a consensus number one team. And man, they looked every bit of it.
Yeah. So who do you got versus this KU Maryland game? We're at a half right now, right?
I think it's Kansas all the way. I just think Maryland's been a little bit volatile, susceptible in both of their games to late comebacks. And I just think Kansas is really, really complete. Rumi?
Man, if Maryland could put it all together, I think they're like one of the teams that actually has the talent to take Kansas down. But I don't know, man. They have to be clicking on all cylinders. Trimble's got to get it going. Layman, Stone, that Carter dude who he comes off the bench for them. He's really good too. I mean, they have a lot of players. But if they all play up to par, that's a team they could beat. But I don't see it happening tonight.
No, they're 2 for 12 from 3. They need to start raining the 3 to make it happen. But they're 2 for 12 from 3, and they're down what?
2?
We're down 2. I mean, so the game's not going the way they always need it to go, and they're still within striking distance. I got to pull Maryland. I got them. I was telling Miz I got Maryland in a bracket. They're my final pick, and I got them in a Cindy. It's a big, big game for this guy right now. I got to pull for Maryland, so I'm going to take Maryland because I don't want to disrupt any karma of I got thrown that way. Ducks Duke. It's going on right now as well.
I haven't watched any of it yet, but man, another one that I think can be closer than it is. For some reason, I feel like Duke is really flying under the radar this year. I don't think they're as talented as they've been the last couple of years, but everyone's hating on them. Everyone keeps expecting them to kind of lose. I feel like this could be a team that all of a sudden you look and they're in the Final Four. I honestly do think the Ducks will win tonight. I think they're more talented. They're big guys. They're freaking awesome. I haven't watched a lot of them, but I mean, so I'm gonna go Oregon, but I think I would not be surprised if Duke upset them tonight.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you got a Plumlee in your back pocket, good things are gonna happen to you.
I think that's fair. What about let's fast forward tomorrow's games. Without giving it away, Andy and I are both still, in theory, come on, Ducks, sticking around for knockouts, so we don't have to divulge confidence levels, but. Man, let's see. What do we got going on tomorrow? UNC, Indiana?
This is going to be a war. Indiana's playing some really good basketball. The Tan Man, Tom Crean, just has things going on the sidelines. But I got to say, North Carolina, they're playing these games right now where they're closing the first half, and they get to a point where they just wear teams down. They look like the best team in the tournament to me. Like, they're just killing teams at some point in time. Like, it'll be close, and then they go on that, 10-2 run, and it's done.
Yep. I think UNC wins that one, too. All right, Miz, who do you like Notre Dame versus Wisconsin?
Fuck if I know, man. Flip a coin between a badger and one of those little queer leprechauns. I think Wisconsin probably wins the game, but I have no clue why I think that. Mainly I'm so bitter that they took X out. I think they're just a little bit maybe more tournament tested. Notre Dame kind of wins sloppy games.
Yeah, I got to go with the Badgers. I mean, Nigel Hayes hasn't done shit in their winning games, and they're coming off a huge win. And Notre Dame, I just, like you said, Rumi, they haven't been that impressive.
No, definitely not. All right,
this is a good one. The Virginia-Iowa State game. This is a good game. Who you got, Rumi?
man, this is where I think we see an upset. I know that Virginia is tournament tested and they're old, but man, I think Iowa State is good. I think the Big 12 in general is good. I wasn't all that sure, but I mean Kansas looks really good. Oklahoma looked awesome earlier tonight. With or without Buddy, first half or second half, really playing. But man, I think Iowa State could be the team. I think this is an upset tomorrow.
I like it. You know who's not good in the Big 12? Fucking Baylor. That's who's not good in the Big 12.
We'll touch on gambling a little later on, but I know Baylor was your downfall at least once early on.
There were 3 downfalls. There were 3.
All right, last one is the Zags and the Qs, the orange. Who we got here, Miz?
Cuse. I need them.
Like it. So, I don't know. There's some good games tomorrow, though. I mean, the Wisconsin Notre Dame game will be a good game, and so will that Iowa State Virginia game. So, it's exciting. Should be good. It just feels like we're inevitable for a Kansas UNC final. Doesn't it feel that way to you guys? Rumi?
I think it's likely, but I mean, dude, Villanova has weirdly surprised me in this tournament. I think they are really, really good, and I've hated on Villanova. I don't know if that's just because I just watched them put a beat down on my Angel Rodriguez in Miami, Angel Rodriguez in Miami.
On hell. Thank you.
On hell.
So, what does Jay Wright do if he wins a championship? What's the Jay Wright celebration?
A ton of blow in a rave.
I think just at center court while Luther Vandross is playing, he's just facing it like Pacino and Scarface.
He's gonna get a full hair dye done on center court after he wins. They're gonna come out and put his head back in the thing, and instead of just having the gray strip with the black strip, it's gonna be all black. He's gonna go try to look younger again.
I like it. He's gonna hit the clubs with Kerry Kittles.
Hilarious. All right, speaking of coaches, what the hell happened? What was up with Sean Miller? Why was he just...
I wanted to party with Sean Miller. He just looks like he's crazy.
Oh, my God. So Sean Miller sweat through 3 shirts during the game. His shirt became, God, you could see straight through it. It was like opaque. Is that the right word? What's the word I'm looking for?
Translucent.
His shirt was literally translucent. You could see straight nipple, straight belly button. It was weird. Miz, what was going on with Sean Miller?
I can't even explain it. Maybe he hasn't slept in like 6 days and has just been pounding espresso. I don't know. He was sweaty from the opening tip. I don't know if it was nerves or what, but I find it hard to believe any human, maybe minus Jake, has ever just pumped that much liquid into their own clothing.
Ouch. Yeah, man, I don't know. That guy was sweating balls, literally, just crazy. Maybe it was because he was like, how is this white guy in Wichita State still at the school after what seems like 10 years, and Fred Van Vliet, but I don't know. That's got to be a health thing. There's no way you sweat that much in an NCAA tournament game, even as a coach. Just wear like a wicking T-shirt. Go Huggy and go with the mock turtleneck wicking thing.
He's got to be on Adderall. You know when you're just on an Adderall bender and you're just sweating? It's like room temperature and everyone else is fine and you're just dripping and you're like, oh my God. That's what it's got to be. I know they test the players for that shit, but I don't think they do drug tests for coaches.
No, definitely. Yeah, good point.
How was Ron Washington getting away with blow 5 years ago? They definitely don't drug test coaches. There's no point. All right, so that brings up a good question. I had a buddy back on the East Coast that used to have to bring 2 shirts whenever we'd go out at night because he would sweat through the first one, like pre-partying at someone's house before we go out to the bar. Seriously, he would bring a second shirt and put it on right before we went to the bars. Has anyone ever had to change shirts from a sweat-induced incident?
Yeah, I would say I'm sure at some point I've probably woken up middle of the night, from some terrible dream. If I had to guess what that dream was, probably like shrunken gangs of Reggie Upshaw Jr. just chasing me around the ballpark, and that is probably a warranted reason to sweat through a nightshirt.
Yes, I drunken gangs of short Reggie Upshaws is the most terrifying image in my head. It's like, come to Oz. That's all I imagine. I have not had to do it under those circumstances. Like I have never brought like 2 T-shirts to a party knowing that I'm going to the bar after. I've like changed out of shirts like midday, been like, man, I was sweating balls all day. I need to change. But I've never had a Sean Miller-esque situation or your buddy Jay-esque situation.
My buddy Jay. That's not Jay. I thought you were talking about Jay Gearin.
Oh no, I thought you were talking about somebody else.
Oh no, Jay. I know Jay Gearin has probably sweat through shirts and had to change shirts to go to different bars. Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh man.
But no, that was crazy. The picture of him just looked like he was gonna have a heart attack. It was like that guy's gonna die on the sideline. This is not good. They should get him out of here.
It was like a Chris Farley SNL skit where Chris Farley was playing Sean Miller and just like losing it on the sideline. A, losing in the first round, and B, sweating through 3 shirts during the game.
Just dumb. Why does he? Okay, here's my question. Why don't you just throw on the Arizona jersey, sleeveless? Just get into it, player coach style. At that point, why try and wear the suit? Doesn't make any sense to me. Just go like double zeros on the bench, Miller.
I wish college coaches had to wear uniforms like MLB managers do. Can you imagine like tiny little Mike Krzyzewski out there in a Duke uniform, like a big Duke uniform? Like they can't wear the warm-ups; they have to wear jerseys and shorts and tall socks and sneakers on the bench.
And you know that every single one of them would be like T-shirt under the jersey guys too. You'd have no just bare-chested guys.
What coach, current, past, dead or alive, any, would look best in a full uniform? It can be pro, it can be college. What coach out there would look best in a full uniform?
Excluding players, right? I mean, because Jason Kidd would probably look pretty good roaming the sidelines in a jersey.
No, not non-players. Let's look at some old guys here.
Izzo would look good. Izzo wouldn't rock the T-shirt either.
I don't know how long ago Hubie Brown was a coach, but I think it was probably like 10 years when he's already been like a skin bag on the sideline. So I'd like to see Hubie Brown's like slumped over body on the bench coaching it.
I'd like to see Pop just mean mugging around in a Spurs uni. He'd look like a white Tim Duncan.
Oh my God, that's terrifying. I'd take John Thompson Sr. maybe in some old school short shorts.
You'd have to go with the shorty shorts, right?
Oh man, that's really good. JT3. Oh, I like that one. How about Providence's head coach? I don't know his name, but he's got all the patchy hair behind his head. I just call him Old Patchy.
I think Shaka would rock a jersey pretty nicely.
That's true. He'd look like an NBA player, probably.
I bet Shaka would rock the sleeve too, like
Ooh.
AI style.
Shaka.
All
right. Let's talk about money that we have riding on this thing real quick. I know we're all involved in a number of gambling efforts, so a couple of them cross over with one another. So let's start with the knockout real quick. Let's give a little rundown of the knockout. To start the knockout, day one. So Jake, this is your baby. This is what you run. You went with Baylor, 5 seed against a 12 seed.
After, by the way, definitively saying that the 5 seeds would roll. I think my exact words were, they're going to roll.
Roll they did not. What happened? What happened there?
You know what? Classic black and white thing right here, man. This is Yale fundamentals doing their thing, playing the old street ballers, and the fundamentals came out. It was Hoosiers all over again. Hickory High, baby. What
I
do you got?
heard I heard a rumor. I heard a rumor that a couple of Yale players heard episode 3 of Down the Wormhole and provided a little bit of billboard material. That was Bolton material, man. They heard Down the Wormhole. I posted it on all their Facebooks. They listened to it and they went after it, man. You called them rapists.
They are rapists. What do you want me to? I'm just calling it as it is.
Oh man! All right, Miz. How about you in the knockout? You're still alive. How you've been a solid showing. Any close ones along the way?
St. Joe's, very
Uh,
close. Let me think. No, I think that was about it. I'm surviving. I've got a plan. I've got it kind of. If things kind of unfold my way, I can stay alive the entire way and have good, solid teams to pick each matchup. So need the Ducks tonight. That's the main focus.
Nice, nice. I'm still alive. Had a pretty solid run. Just advanced with Villanova this afternoon or this evening. I had one close one. It wasn't that bad though. Oklahoma got played tight. I can't remember who they played actually 2 rounds ago. But it was closer than it should have been. But they pulled it out. So that's fun. All right. How about the?
I did exactly what I tell myself every year I will never do in the knockout because it is a fool's errand. Is I bought back in and I didn't buy back in once. I bought back in twice, like an idiot. And Cal knocked me out, and then Wichita State knocked me out, which is just a train wreck. I don't know. I'm not made for that tournament. I love running it. It's up to 700 bones. I hope one of you two jokers gets it. I actually hope that it comes down to where we get to reset the teams. Like I hope that like everybody is out of teams to pick, and then it gets reset between like 3 or 4 guys. I don't think it'll happen because I think everyone like one guy can kind of dictate. Here's a question: if you get down to the final and you can dictate if it's going to be a tie or if you're going to play for the win, what do you do?
I think it depends on who you have left to win. Because I want to feel confident they're going to win. Otherwise, I'm chopping the pot. I do the same thing in poker. If it gets down to the end of the night and you're the last 2 left, I'll chop that thing 99 times out of 100.
Yeah, Viz?
I would probably in this case. Man, that's a tough one.
I can see in the face.
That's a tough one. Let me see how my fantasy NBA season wraps up at the tail end of this weekend, and if that's a first place, I'll probably go for it. If not, I think I'll happily chop.
I like it. No, syndicate. Let's hit it up. You guys are in the same syndicate. Miz, are you rolling?
I am not. I am down to the Syracuse Orangemen. My picks and final 4 teams, they did not unfold.
No, X did not give it to you. This is interesting that you have Syracuse because now I can kind of piece together the Syracuse love and a little bump. You're giving them the old Miz bump here. I got this now. It's like me with Maryland, which isn't looking out so well. There we go. But
Miz, at least you were respectable. You made it to 4th place. You made it to 4th points wise. A couple two win teams in there. Me in this one, on the other hand, am coming close to setting an all-time low for syndicate wins. I had 3, and Indiana is my last remaining team. I went real heavy Big Ten in this one, and it bit me.
Are you going to win the Dan Dwiggins Participation Award for worst fantasy player ever?
Pretty much. Lost Sparty and Purdue, two of Jake's teams there last week without getting a single win out of them. It was a disaster. It did not go well. Did not go well at all.
Didn't Dwiggs score 2 points one time in a syndicate or something absurd?
Yeah, it made him actually change his method up. He now rolls a dice and completely randomly picks teams.
And he's still beating you?
Oh, last year he finished 2nd or 3rd, and this year he's well above me. Danny Dice has 6 points and still has Villanova and Iowa State left. He's rolling.
Literally clean. I got my syndicate heartbroken a little bit by UNI. I was on the wrong side of that. I think if UNI would have won that, I would have been sitting really, really nice. I was like riding high. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna have 4 teams in the Sweet 16 in the syndicate, and then they didn't do that. But I kind of like where I sit. I like Maryland. I like Gonzaga to get to the Elite Eight at least, and then I'll have a Final Four team if UVA and Gonzaga meet up. So I'm almost guaranteed 2 more points for sure. So it kind of comes down to Maryland.
Yeah, Miz, we have a solid little running right here between Cheebs, Christy, and I in our other syndicate here. So Christy has 10 points in the lead. I have 9 points, and Jake has 8 points, and all 3 of us have 3 Sweet 16 teams left.
That's convenient.
Yeah.
So
Good
it's
luck.
Hammer versus Household Ruminant.
Love it. Absolutely love it. And there's some star power left in there. I like it.
But yeah, I mean, I love it. Did you guys do brackets at all? Yeah. You got any love, or did you all have Michigan State going a long way?
Did one bracket, and I picked the games well. I had a high percentage, but I'm missing 2 of my Final Four teams already, so I'm done. So, including my champion, Michigan State. Thanks, Sparty.
Yeah. I still can't believe that. Anything else on gambling? What you got?
No, that's all I got.
No, I wish you guys well in the syndicate. I mean, in the knockout. I mean, it's going to be good. A lot of people made it through that first week. Actually, about less than half, which is what you kind of would expect. So it's pretty good. Tonight was pretty non-eventful. I think a lot of people had, easy picks. We were talking about this earlier. Just no one's going to take a flyer. Tomorrow, I think it's interesting because people don't have teams to pick tomorrow.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
you shut your mouth. I still got to survive, dude.
That's true. Let's see. What else we got tonight?
Man, I don't really know. I think that's all the topics I had written down. Miz, what about you?
Good to
No,
go.
I think I'm probably good. We're probably at a good time at this point.
I like that. There was an NFL story that I saw today that I was going to ask you about, but I don't remember. So we'll just leave it at that. I think it was
Cool
something.
story, Hansel.
What's that?
Cool
Oh,
story.
real quick, NBA. 12 games left. Warriors got to win 10. Have you looked at their schedule? No. Okay. So they've got the Spurs twice. They've got Washington once. They've got a couple garbage teams. I think they play Dallas tomorrow night. Are they getting to 73?
Miz, what do you think?
At this rate, I say no. I think they tie it at 72 and 10.
So they go 9-3 on the way out. That's still pretty damn good.
That is.
It's unreal.
Man,
Yeah.
at this point in the season, I know the first time you asked me this question, I was doubtful. But man, at this point, with this few games left, I feel like you're just gonna will yourself to win. I honestly, since the tournament started up, I probably haven't watched more than 3 minutes of an NBA game. So, Cheebs, what do you think? I know you've still been watching it. Oh yeah, I got a text from Cheebs like 4 days ago, and all it says is, I know the NCAAs are going on, but I am jacked up about this Spurs.
It was.
Spurs
It turned out
won.
to be such a shitty game because it was low scoring. I got to run the numbers on the Spurs under bet for the season and see how much money you'd make if you just bet that the whole time. But yeah, I think they're gonna do it. I think even if they're gonna lose like 2 games, that's all they're gonna lose out of these next 10. So I like it. They might lose to the Spurs, but if the Spurs don't have a shot to 1 seed, the Spurs are gonna roll out garbage players the whole time. So, anyways, that's all we got, man. Best of luck to Oregon, Miz. I want to see you get to tomorrow. This could be the first night where we don't have anybody go down, knock on wood. So that'd be good. Go Terps. That would knock people out. Actually, that would be good. Terps going down. Terps winning. So take us out, Rumi. Take us out. Give me a little 3-string guitar, 3 teeth, and a corner. love it. The wormhole's out.